I'm Will,
And I'm Steven.
and this is the Post P Chronicles.
Hey, what up, say? Yeah.
Man, we are back for season four. Got a lot to look forward to. Before we do, let's do a little recap of the last few seasons. Stephen, what's been going on?
Yeah, so if you guys know, we've had guests and we don't bring on a lot of follow-up guests, but whether it's been the post P program out of the gym or just having these people in our lives, we want to talk about some victories some of our formerly incarcerated guests have had. And so it's important, we've seen what their stories, the trials, what they're going through, and what they planned on doing, but we don't always bring them back through for the victories. So I want to mention a few. One of our first guests ever, Ty, he said one of his big life goals is to get his IFBB Pro card. And he actually did that, I think, 2 years ago. He got his IFBB Pro card. So he is now competing as a professional classic physique competitor. So it's always cool when you see people accomplish their goals. I know Will sees Ty every day in the gym, grinding away. A lot of people don't see the hard work that goes behind it. But these people, it's they're giving it their all. So we have another guest, and I think she's part of our board on Post P Chronicles nonprofit. Yadira, what happened with Yadira, Will?
Well, Yadira is married. Yes, yes, yes. Shout out to Yadira, former guest, part of the Post P family organization, and she has found the love of her life, Bernard, and they are happily married. They're settling down, and she's going for her doctorate's degree as well to be a licensed therapist. So a lot of exciting things has happened in her life since her episode, and we appreciate you, dear, and excited to see what happens next. So who
Yeah, and then
else have we interviewed?
one of our good friends, we talk to him all the time. He actually just recently went to Mexico with us. Had a crazy story slash testimony. If you ever want to go back and watch these interviews, Andy, he graduated, got his degree, first one in his family. And the coolest thing to see is that he is working on his master's degree right now. So Andy's just killing it. It's cool to see that, he came from nothing, very low educated background, a New Yorker, did 16 years, and now he's just got, nothing but up from there, nothing stopping him. So it's always good to see Andy going wrong. And then, what's going on with your buddy Ed? I hear he's working on some big projects.
Big project. Shout out to Coach Ed. When Coach Ed came on, he talked about his journey from being a personal trainer, and then the pandemic happened, and so he had to pivot. And mind you, he had just came home after doing almost a decade in prison. And so from personal trainer, COVID happens, he had to pivot, and he got into the electrician's trade. And so it takes about 5 years to graduate and become a journeyman electrician. So Coach Ed did the program, and he finally got his certification as a journeyman electrician, and that was last year. But that's not even the most exciting part about his story. As soon as he got his journeyman electrician certification, they put him as the general foreman of Terminal One, the San Diego Airport project, which is $1 billion project. I might be throwing crazy numbers out, but if you've been here in San Diego and you are from San Diego, then you know that number isn't that crazy. And for Coach Ed to do 10 years in prison, just become a journeyman electrician, and then to lead an entire project that size, that's a testament to the person that he is. They saw a leader in him, and they knew you are the man for the job. So shout out to Coach Ed. If you haven't seen his story, please tune into it. It's an amazing one.
Yeah, all these people we're mentioning have been past guests. Make sure you go back through the archives. Each one has an amazing story, something that you will be inspired by each and every one. So get out your checklist and write these down. My buddy Pastor Tim, he stepped down at Skyline. He's still in a pastoral role at Skyline, but he's no longer where he was. And he's now the head of an organization. Believe it's called Kids Around the World. He goes to Kenya, he goes to Uganda. Every time I text him, he's in Uganda, and they do um, shipping containers, packing full of meals, and feeding the needy around the world, and also building playgrounds around the world for kids and orphanages. So it's really cool to see all the stuff he's doing.
Amazing.
I want to get involved with them, and Post P wants to get involved with them. I love to raise some money, and we do what you call a packing party. You get about 20, 30 people, you pack 1,000 meals, and you ship them off to a part of the world of your choice to help impoverished children and communities. What's going on with your boy T Mighty?
T Mighty. He is a married man, ladies. He's off the market. If you haven't seen his episode, that was also a very good one. He's up there in Fresno, near you, near Trinity Gym, and he just got married. Yes, that old man is finally off the market. But not only that, he also got a union job, so he is doing amazing things. He is killing it, and I'm proud of you. And yeah, I will get on you. Inside joke.
Now we also got a man full of wisdom. He was also a uh part of your bachelor party at your wedding. What's up with Matthew?
Matt, Matt, shout out to Matt after a lot of years. And when I say a lot of years, Matt just graduated and got his bachelor's degree. And normally that takes about 4 years. And this one took Matt a little longer. And it wasn't because he wasn't working hard. Matt was working 2 or 3 jobs, had just recently gotten married, had formerly incarcerated, trying to get his degree. And so he was juggling so many things and he didn't want to drop anything. So he had to take less classes so that he can focus and get everything right while he's juggling his new marriage, while he's juggling his career as a counselor. And yeah, he finally got his bachelor's degree. So shout out to Matt. You're amazing and I appreciate you. And watch
Now,
this
what's up?
episode. It was a good one. It was an amazing episode. A lot
That's
of
why I said
insight.
man full of wisdom. He's a smart man.
Yeah.
What's going on with Erica?
Oh, Miss Erica Laura, she had a very compelling story. And, I know you're probably watching this thinking like, oh, everybody has a compelling story. I think you who are listening to this, you have a compelling story. We all have a story. We just haven't told it yet. So, yes, Miss Erica Laura, she had an amazing story. And on that episode, she talked about running a garage
A mechanic
and
shop.
a mechanic's garage. And she had no former knowledge. She kind of stumbled into it and she excelled. And right after the episode, they parted ways, which was crazy. She wasn't expecting it, but as soon as her episode aired, things happened and she separated from that company and she didn't know what she's going to do. So once again, this amazing woman pivoted and now she started a construction company, managing the construction company, fixing up ADUs, buying homes, doing all kind of things like that. So if you're someone who is building an ADU, if you want to know anything about construction, then she's your lady. Watch her episode, reach out to her. Erica Laura, you doing amazing things.
Yeah, we got our boy Brian, Brian Coda. Couple things going on. I believe he had another kid, and then also he started a flower business. We know he was an electrician, got his own electrician company, and now he's got his own flower shop called San Diego Flower Bar. So, men, if you're listening, you got to get flowers. Get flowers for your woman. Get flowers for your mama. San Diego Flower Shop. Hit up Brian Coda. Hasn't got back on stage yet, like he said he wanted to do, but he is going to do it. So that's going to be in the plans of the future. So keep an eye on that. And then one other big thing, well, two things, but we'll start off with this. You guys, I don't know if you follow us on social media. We just went to Mexico, Baja bound. We went a group of us. Andy was in on that group, a couple guys, and we built a house for a poor family in need. That was super exciting. Those are always memorable moments and things you never forget. It's cool when the crew gets together and all your buddies get together and you get to bless a family in need. And then there's one more person. If this happened to us too, we'll announce it. But what happened to Samuel?
Samuel Gillespie has a child. He had his little girl. It's amazing. He's doing really well. He has a union job. He's been standing the trouble. He's been a great man and now a great father. So shout out to my friend, to my brother Samuel. You're doing amazing work, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate knowing you and watching you grow. You overcome so many things, and I know that you're not looking back. So the future is bright for you.
A life update. Sam had a baby. Who else had a baby, Will?
I think us, we had
Yeah.
kids. We did. We had some beautiful little kids, man. First, I want to talk about your son, Deacon. He just turned 5 months. He is
Deacon
adorable. I
Caleb
swear.
Krupenberg.
Talk about him, man. Talk about him. Adorable, y'all. He's
So
adorable.
my little blonde hair, blue eyed twin, a way cuter version of me. We're gonna have to keep the ladies off him. Man, he's just a bundle of joy. Now that he's 5 months old, it's like he's coming online. He's just smiling and laughing at everything. And as a parent, all you want to do is bring your kid joy. So me and my wife sit there and, make faces and make funny sounds, just anything to get him to laugh right now. And, as a gym owner and entrepreneur, I'm so blessed because I get to bring him to work every day. So my son, my wife, they're at work with me every day. I get to hold my son. I get to play with him. I get to have him, on my lap while I do stuff while I work, tummy time over in the lounge. And, it's just cool. We went to our IFBB professional bodybuilding show. We're sitting front row. My son's at his first pro bodybuilding show, and it's like, dang, like it's really cool just to get to see him do all these things at such a young age. And hopefully we can continue doing all those things. So Deacon Caleb Krukenberg, born January 3rd, 2026. The future is bright, and I just hope all the stuff that we talk about on here and all the things of character and lessons and things we talk and learn here, I hope to be able to give back and pour that into my child, all these lessons, so he can use those and be a great and successful man. But before my child was born, your child was born. So tell us about Wisdom Riggs.
And my heart, my twin, man, she looks so much like me. I love it. Wisdom Riggs, that's my baby girl. Matter of fact, she turned 8 months today. She's 8 months
Oh,
old. I mean, she looked like she's about 2 years old. She's about 27 pounds. It's a big girl, but she's tall, y'all. I'm not overfeeding her, I promise. She's just a very tall, healthy child, and she's my heart, man. Stephen, I think you were made to have a little boy, and I know I was made to have a little girl. She gives me patience, right? And I say that because even yesterday she was just whining and crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And in that same moment, I'm like, she's a baby. And I'm just talking to her, and I'm like, I'm sorry I was impatient. And she's just laughing and looking at my face. She don't even know what I'm talking about. But that's what she does to me. She just makes me a better person every single day, and it's just beginning. So yeah, my little girl, 8 months today, Wisdom Riggs.
that's awesome, man. Well, one of the reasons we're here, and this is going to be coming out right around that time, Father's Day is coming up. And, while we're new to this Father's Day, like you said, there's so many things you're learning. Um, I don't just want to we'll talk about first what it means to be a father, but how's it changed you? You said I was meant to be a boy dad, and I agree. I told my wife when she was pregnant, I was like, man, if we have a girl, I don't even know what to do with a girl. She'll just be a little tomboy. I don't even know. God hasn't prepared me to raise a girl. And, I got a boy. So I was like, but my feeling was right. And, like you said, you're a girl dad teaching you all this patience. So let's start off with what has being a parent taught you so far?
So far, it has taught me patience, honestly. And, I have my wife had 3 kids prior, and the youngest one, that's my guy, that's my son, that's Isaiah. And the things that I've learned from wisdom, I put it on him. I'm very patient with him now. I talk to him, and that's what being a parent is. Even when you're upset, you have to be patient. You have to teach them. You have to walk them through life so that they can go on and be, capable adults and good human beings. Kind of like you said, the things that we do, going to different countries, helping people out, giving back. We want to impart that on our kids. And, that's what wisdom does. That's what my other kids do. They just make me better. And so this Father's Day just takes on an entirely different meaning. I know most of the world probably doesn't care about dads. That's how I know I'm just saying this out loud, but that's how I feel sometimes. But no matter what the world thinks about fathers, in this home, fathers matter. And I love being a dad, and they make me better and more patient. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. They teach me patience, because you can't just say, you know what, I'm out, right? Like I just don't want to do this no more. This is just too much. Well, the good dads can't do that, right? Like you can't do that. So yeah, for
Kids
me,
don't
that's
stop
what it
crying
teaches.
by themselves.
Yeah. So what has fatherhood taught you? What does it mean to you, Stephen?
Man, I mean, patience definitely. First of all, shout out to my wife, seeing what an amazing mother she is. Like for me, I feel like I'm clunky and trying to learn to be a father, and it's like not natural. And I'm getting comfortable now. From day one, just God put it in her, and she's wired to be a wife. So, but for me, I wouldn't say patience as much as selflessness. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? For me, it's just I got to put all my priorities and everything I want on the back burner. And my plans revolve around my kid and what my kid's doing and how my kid's feeling. And um, just being very selfless. You want to come home and take a nap. Well, you can't be taking naps with a baby because the baby doesn't want to take a nap. You're not getting a nap. You know what I mean? If you want to, what, my wife was just telling me today, she's like, I wanted to vacuum today, but he had other plans. So it's like, especially with a kid before it's a newborn, you can't just be like, hey, like you said, shut up, get in the corner, say I'm out. Like you have to definitely be there. And just knowing your actions, your love is molding and shaping this child's view of reality, and your actions are shaping this child's view of father. A lot of people have a bad view of God, had a bad relationship with their father, a bad view of their father, right? Like, oh, this cruel, punishable person, or oh, distant and uninvolved. So I always look at it that way. I saw this quote. I don't remember if it was Martin Luther or Tozer. Somebody was like, I was walking in the beach and I turned around and I looked at my footsteps and I realized my son was falling behind me, taking big steps, stepping in every footstep that I was doing. And I
Mm,
realized he was following my footsteps and wanted to be just like me. So for me too, it's like, how do I treat my wife? How do I treat people around me when I'm in business? How do I shake hands? How do I interact with other men? How do I talk about people? I know my kid's 5 months old, but those things you got to start practicing now because you will are setting the example for what your daughter's going to look for in a man.
mm-hmm,
I'm setting the example for my son of how to treat a woman and how to be a man. You know
mm-hmm,
what I mean? And so those are both very important rules to, or both very important roles to uh, fill for our children. And so I look at that. The more selfless I am, the more patient I am. And like you said, it's bringing out things I didn't know I had because I have to be more patient. Also, if he's crying or like, it's funny too. I'll be helping a customer. He starts crying, and I can't like freak out or like It's like you can't just hand him off to someone. It's like, all right, buddy, I got you, buddy. 1 second, 1 second. Hey, I'm sorry. Let me take care of this. You know what I mean? It's like you can't just be you you could be frustrated and you can blow a gasket, but you just look stupid and it's not going to solve anything at that
at
time,
all,
right? You
at
gotta
all.
you gotta respond to everything with kindness, patience, and love, especially with a kid. Like what's getting
Mhm.
upset gonna do? The kid's still crying. The diaper still needs to be changed. They're still hungry. You know what I mean? So it's like
Man,
how you react is everything, and then how you react is what you're teaching your child. And then you're also even in these little moments when they're still not even a year old, you're showing their actions and how you react out of frustration or out of grace and patience is if you are a safe place for them or not. So
mhm.
that's kind of how I look at it. Like I'm molding and curating this kid's reality in his mind. I got to watch everything I do.
I think that is, you said something really important that resonated with me when you say, I'm showing wisdom what type of man she should be looking for. And that starts with how I treat her mom.
Mhm.
Right. And so that's a huge thing. And I think that a lot of people, and I'm not going to say anybody in particular. I don't know anybody in particular, but there's a lot of men who are good dads, but they treat the mom bad, right? And so, how good of a dad can you be if they see you not being good to the person that they love second most or the most, right? So you have to treat the mother with respect and a certain like love too, because she gave you a child. So I know this, but hearing it kind of just like refreshes me, like, you know what, you got to be better, right? Because I can give
I
all the
talked to
patience to the kids. Go ahead.
I talked to a guy the other day that was formerly a former gang member, and he's like, "Man, growing up, I always saw my dad cheating on his wife or on my mom, and then he would come over at the company or the family picnics and say, 'Hey, mijo, come here. How many girlfriends do you have?' And he'd be like 5, and then they'd all like, oh, high five him, and he was like 7, 8 years old, and he's like, 'Man, I didn't know it. I grew up to be a womanizer.' He's like, 'God had to break all that stuff off of me. I had to unlearn it.' He's like, 'But my father." That set a terrible example for me. And that's what I thought being a man was from a very young age. So that sticks with me of like you said, I'm setting the example for him of how to treat a
Mhm.
woman. You're
Yeah,
setting the example for her of what a woman should allow and what a man is too. So it's like two very key roles, whether it be in a daughter's life or a son's life of the father.
definitely. Definitely. So shout out to all the dads that are there and taking care of their kids. I think that just from my personal experience, right? I don't think you guys get enough love and recognition and praise. And so right here on Post Peak Chronicles, Stephen and I, we want to shout out you fathers, those ones that are there, that do the hard work, that go to work every day, that make sure you got a roof over your head, that tell you they love you, right? So shout out to them and shout out to my dad as well, because this will be coming out on Father's Day. So since we'll be airing this around Father's Day, shout out to I've been blessed to have two dads. James Riggs, my actual biological father, who is a great man, who always told me he loved me growing up. I didn't have that problem. I knew he loved me because he told me, all the time. And then Lance Kroom, my adopted father. And it's crazy that he's not my biological father, and yet we're so similar, right? Like we are so similar in the best way. And he's just a great man, and he's always loved me. He never ever gave me any opportunity to question that love. So I appreciate both those men. Happy Father's Day to you too.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of that's molded who we are. And, one other thing I want to point out too, for me, it's made me, well, while moms are the glue that holds the household together, I think dads are the gears that keep the household moving and being
Mhm.
the well-oiled machine, right? And we're
Yeah,
also the mechanics that fix everything, right? We're the fixers. We
man.
fix it all. It all falls on our shoulders. Mom holds it together with the love and the grace and the kindness and the nurturing and makes the house a home. We keep it going in every aspect, keep the gears going. We are, yeah, it's like you said, me and Will were doing Bible study the other day with our Bible study group, and I was like, man, only time I get a second to myself is when I take shit. You know what I mean? I was like, literally, I'm always busy, and it's like whether it's being an entrepreneur, whether it's being at home, whether it's being in business, whether it's being a husband or being a father, there's all these hats we wear. And it's like when you go home, when you're single, the hats come off. When
Hmm.
you go home with around, is it father hat? Is it husband hat? What do I got to do? You go to work, it's the entrepreneur hat, and it's always something that's going on. And it's like, and we're not saying women and mothers don't do that too, but there's just a different type of burden that falls on the man. And one other thing I wanted to tell Will, I also feel like he said it made him softer as me. I think it's made me a little not, I mean, obviously softer with my son, but more vigilant and harder of like, I got to show my son what it is to be a man.
Hmm.
And, also being in public with all these crazy, weird kidnappers and
Yeah.
pedophiles, weird things. When I'm in public, I'm more vigilant than ever, where it's like, I'm watching around me everywhere I go. If I need to mad dog people or be confrontational, like not in a fighting way, but I just will, you know, call someone
I am
out
a
if I need
protector.
to. And you're
Yeah.
definitely a protector, right? So
Hmm.
you turn into, nonchalant mode to like now I'm 24/7 protector mode. You got to have like this, who was it? It was uh the one that just got married. What's his name?
T.
Yeah, T Mighty. He told me on the phone, he's like, you know what? Your kid's gonna be a toddler soon. He's like, and you're gonna develop a spidey sense. He's like, you're just gonna know. He's like, 'cause they constantly want to get in trouble and basically little suicidal babies. He's like, but you get this spidey sense. He's like, you'll be tired, but you'll just know something's happening or someone's about to fall or you're gonna run into a corner and you'll just be there. He's like, it doesn't get easier, you just get better. And I was like, thanks, T. I needed that. So
Hey.
it's because he's got what, 9 kids?
Yeah, he don't stop having babies. Hopefully he did stop.
Hey, he just
But
got married. You might want more.
man, yeah, it's so crazy that you said it makes you more vigilant because I've I have not been stronger in my life than I am now. Now that I had, and I've always been in shape, but I feel like I need to do more. Like I need to be stronger. I need to be able. My body needs to move better, and I've always been in health, but I've never felt as good as I feel now after having the baby, which seems crazy because usually you're always tired. Like I'm always exhausted. I guess it works to work in the gym because I can always
You
do it,
know,
but
you know what they call that, right, Will?
what's that?
Dad strength.
There you go. Let's go. Daddy strength. Let's do it.
Hey, I'm getting
Man.
stronger too.
Oh
You
man, you
know,
stay strong. I don't even know if that's possible. How you do that?
I also think with the kids too, it's like, since we talk about being more selfless, I have more conviction about my decisions too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel that way too. And like
Yeah.
my decisions in business, my decisions, like who do I want to be that my want to make sure my son sees, right? And the people that see the phonies the most, your wives and your kids, they know you can say whatever you want in public, but they'll know behind closed doors if you are who you say you are.
Right.
And so I got to make those decisions every day of like, is this who I say I am to be? Am I a man of conviction? Am I, doing X, Y, Z? Because everyone knows me as a super Christian. Am I one at home or I just one in public? Right. And so
Right.
it's also given me a stronger, deeper conviction of my faith, getting in my word more, all those things. Because it's just like, I don't know, it's weird. Not going to say you kind of are who you are at this age, but we've developed our character. We know what we want to do. We can change things, but these kids are so impressionable right now that you have to like be on your A game. And I've heard so many stories of adults that are just go down the wrong path. Like, man, this one moment my dad did this, or they did this, or they rejected me this way, and it's like set them down a course that they've uh, never thought they could go down.
Yeah. So along those lines, the course that they never thought they'd go down, I never thought that we'd be in season 4, right? We took a little bit of time off. You had a new baby, you moved, you're opening up a whole new gym. The gym, Fresno Trinity Gym in Fresno. If you guys are in Fresno, you gotta check out this gym. It is
Just bought a
truly
gym in the
amazing.
Philippines, and we're going to do Trinity Gym Philippines. Keep that on the DL. But yeah, we just purchased the gym out there.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, guys.
Got to get busier.
Man, but you have been doing some amazing things up there. I've had a lot of more responsibility down here, running the gym, having more responsibility at the gym. If you're in San Diego and you have not tried out the Gym Chula Vista, come by, check us out. It's an amazing experience, an amazing gym, and amazing people. So come join the family. And then, just other things with Post P, but we haven't been in front of this camera for a little while. So, what do we have to look forward to with this season?
Well, we're going to do some roundtable discussions like last season. And then we're going to get back to those interviews. We have a lot of people seem to love the interviews, but not only that, that's what we're all about, the impactful stuff that people want to hear, those stories that we can all in one way or another relate to those stories. I think that's why people listen. And then we get to look back on the guests and hear, like the list of victories we just heard from right now. And then we get to yeah, it just really brings your struggle that you're going through. It shows people you're not alone. We also plan on doing other things. We're not done in Africa. We want to go back to Africa. This summer, we're doing a program for the justice impacted youth, whether formerly incarcerated, people working with like the Fresno Mission, or people that are just out of juvenile hall or group homes. We're giving them free gym memberships and trying to mentor them. I mean, post P by no means is slowing down. We're only getting bigger. We're only getting stronger. We regrouped. We are coming for it. Is there anything else you want to add that we are also doing, Will?
Yeah, so we're also doing a program right here in San Diego for the formerly incarcerated men, and we're running groups. We're giving memberships, free memberships. Health is wealth, mind, body, and spirit. So if you're interested, reach out. Second Chance Will on Instagram, Post P Chronicles on Instagram. Let me know if you're interested, and let's get you in the gym, and let's get you in these groups, and let's try to improve that life. All right. And then, we talked about all these amazing stories of past guests, but there's one guest that was very near and dear to you. And I just want to give this opportunity to talk about that guest.
So probably my favorite interview, because this guy was a mentor of mine, friend, mentor, bigger than life. Literally, was he 6'8"? His name was Big Adam. If you get a chance to watch his interview, go back and watch it. Just a man full of wisdom, multimillionaire, made himself from trouble and all the stuff he went through, and just he was always there for you. One of the things he told me one time, I was really upset because if you guys know a bodybuilder, you come off stage, you don't win, you get upset. And I was going for my pro card, it didn't turn out how I want to. And he kind of like reprimanded me. He's like, "You think the most important thing you have to offer this world is being a bodybuilder, being a pro bodybuilder?" He's like, that's such a waste. He's like, "I don't even know why you focus on bodybuilding." And it just like, it humbled me really quick. And then I always think that, like, if I don't do as good as I want, I really think, is this what I think all I have to offer to the world? You know what I mean? You got to look at what's my identity? What am I rooted in? And it's like, he was really good at like keeping you centered and grounded of like, don't chase after stupid stuff. Dude, multi-millionaire, and he would always tell me, he'd be like, none of this stuff matters. He'd be like, family matters, your faith with God matters. He's like, I would send him pictures of Deacon. He'd be like, that's what matters in life. I'm so proud of you. Never getting, and I'd win. He didn't care. You know what I mean? Because that wasn't what made him proud. He'd be like, when he found out that me and Will built an orphanage in Africa, he's like, tell you and Will that I am so proud of you guys. You know what I mean? Like, that was Big Adam. He cared about the important things, not about, he didn't care about money. He didn't care about success. He didn't care about the winning in bodybuilding, which he was a genius in all those things and had all those things. But he knew what was important in life, your faith in Jesus Christ, family, and giving back. That's what he did. That's Big Adam. And actually, Will, his funeral is in Oceanside, June 20th, the day before Father's Day on Saturday. I'll be down there.
I
Maybe
will
you
be
can
down
join
there.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be there.
So shout out to Big Adam. I don't know if you want to say anything about Big Adam. I mean, it's funny because
Yeah, I mean,
you would think someone that's so successful, he watched every episode of the podcast to give me feedback. And I'm like, what? You watch that? He'd be like, I watch every episode. So it's cool.
Adam was a kind man. I didn't know him as well as Steven did, but when we interviewed him, and after the interview, he reached out to me, and he reached out to me a few times, and just with my life, we didn't continue that relationship. But when I left Fresno, I came up there to visit you in Fresno, and I said I'm gonna reach out to Big Adam, and I reached out, and he messaged me back immediately, and he said, "Man, don't worry about it. I've been watching you. I'm proud of you." And so I just want to take this moment to say, Big Adam, rest in peace. You were truly a larger than life individual in spirit and in character. And I'm honored to have met you and to have considered you a friend. So thank you.
Rest in peace. With that, just guys, we're proud of you guys for being subscribers and watchers. And, we have so many cool stories, and sometimes don't all go the way we want, but just make sure you like and subscribe, share this with other people. Maybe sometimes you hear these stories and they may not affect you personally, but there's someone that could benefit from these stories because these go a long way and you never know who's struggling. Something with me, like you said, you mean to reach out to Big Adam, mean to reach out to this person. I'll just say this today too. If you know someone so Adam also, he had the gigantism Andre the Giant had with a pituitary gland to just grow and grow and grow. The doctors asked him, how tall do you want to be? He said 6'8". When he got to 6'8", they cut out his pituitary gland. That's why it was called Big Adam. But along with being that big, you have a lot of health complications and issues. And so he had, if you were listening to his episode, he had previous battles with drug use that left, so he had underlying health complications. That's why he passed away. But stories like these, or if someone's just put on your mind, make sure you reach out, make sure you check on people, make sure you never know when people that you love are going to pass away, or they're on the verge, or they're depressed. So always reach out, always be a friend. You never know what just an encouraging, hey, how you doing, is going to help. We're talking about Father's Day. One thing too is it's tough being a man. If you don't have no one, like Will said, no one gives a shit about Father's Day. And in a way, it's true. We laugh because it's like you make a big deal for Mother's Day. Father's Day, like, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't have any plans. But it's like, make sure you reach out to the dads. It's hard. You're being a father. You're being a husband. You're trying to, be the mechanic and the gears that keep the household moving. And then it's trying to be a provider. It's a lot of work. And so shout out to all the dads. Also, you can DM me. You can DM Will if you're ever struggling. Let us know. But reach out to someone that's ever put on your heart and just shoot them a how you doing text. Haven't talked to you in a while, and it could change the lives. So that's what I'll leave you guys with. And anything for you, Will?
No, just like Steven said, reach out. If you're going through something, reach out. And, we have a lot of connections. We could probably put you in connection with someone who can help you. And if you just need an ear, well, I got two of them. All right. So, and thank you again to everybody who is liking, everybody who is subscribing, everybody who is sharing. And if you're not one of those people, then make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, and make sure you're sharing, because these stories are powerful and people need to hear them. And more than that, they're entertaining and you need to listen to them. So thank you guys. Stay tuned. Post P, we out.
Peace. Happy Father's Day.
Hey, what up, say?